Toller. He is running for Kentucky State House, District 74 or 78. I apologize. Here in Kentucky, in a head-to-head race against a Republican. He doesn't have a Democrat in the race. James is a over-the-road trucker veteran, and I think he's got some good messages that's winning down here in Kentucky. So, James, why don't you kind of tell people who you are and why you're running?
Yeah, pretty much. Thank you, Ryan, for having me on. Sorry about the technical difficulties here. But, I'm just a working class Kentuckian that works every day, out here on the road driving a truck. And that's really what got me into wanting to run for office here in Kentucky was, I've been in a fight with the government, both states and federal level, with the trucking industry, and I've realized over the last few years that government's not what it's supposed to be, and you can't talk to your representative anymore unless you have money, and that's not how it's supposed to be. And I said, you know what? It's time to start changing this back to the way it's supposed to be, and me to step out and run for office and get it back to that point.
All right, so you've been out, you've been hitting the, I know you've been door knocking a lot. One of your topics that you will talk about is, I know we have libertarians all over. They have, different levels of messaging. I know one thing that you're thinking is extremely pragmatic here in Kentucky would be eliminating the property tax on the primary residence for essentially people 60 and older, I think is what you're proposing to start with at least. Or was it in there?
At the retirement age, it's after you retire, you have a lot of things that you stress to pay, and because you are literally on a fixed income after you retire, and you shouldn't have. That's one thing you should not have to worry about. You shouldn't have to worry about saving so much of what you bring in every month from your retirement to make sure you pay your property tax at the end of the year, because if you don't pay that property tax, then you're looking at losing your home, losing your property, and you should not have to worry about that. I would like to do away with it altogether, but we need, the government is taking our rights and our freedoms away from us a little at a time, so we can't go back and grab it all at once. Let's go back and grab it piece by piece like they have taken it from us. So that's a good place to start.
Okay. Here in Kentucky, we've had significant amounts of joblessness and unemployment during this era with all the shutdowns where our governor deemed certain businesses essential, other businesses non-essential, and then gave single sets of rules for how every business was going to have to operate, putting undue hardships on some that don't even make sense for their business models. As I don't believe by Kentucky Constitution you could have forced a call to assembly, but do you think the governor should have called an emergency legislative assembly, or just simply continued with his executive orders over this year?
That's a good question. Over the years, this is kind of where our government, our representatives have failed us. They've given that power to the government. I agree with Donald Rainwater in Indiana. He wants to go in and tell the House and the Senate up there, he don't want that power, because the citizens, every citizen of the state of Kentucky, and even the citizens of the 78th district that I'm going to represent, don't need the power of just one person to tell them what's good for them. You should be able to have that own right, your own freedom to say, yes, I want to wear a mask, or no, I'm not, or the small business owners is who I feel for the most in this, because Walmart and Kohl's and Lowe's and the big businesses like that have stayed open, but yet your small local business owners that practically sell the same exact things, they have to shut their doors through this, and it's really put them in a strain. So, executive powers and things, I think we need to look at that when we get in there and make sure that there is a special session called to help out through this and not leave the lives of everybody in the state relied on one person. And I think that the General Assembly needs to have a voice in that for sure.
Okay. So also Kentucky has, every state has their own constitution. So there's specific powers delegated to, the General Assembly, the Senate, each in each house. What sort of things do you think that in the state assembly you can find agreement on with its current makeup? I believe Kentucky is about 70-30 Republican Democrat in general. My son's really excited for your race. He's yelling his support for you back there if you can hear him. So, so what sort of policies do you think that we could get moving forward right away in Kentucky on with the general makeup of the current assembly?
I think we can. I want to hope and I want to think that this government's not too far gone from the people. And I would hope to think that anything that's going to benefit the citizens of Kentucky and the people that put them into office and the people that pay them every day, I want to think that anything that's going to benefit them would be a reasonable place to start. I mean, the government, Harvard back at the beginning of the year done a study, and Kentucky has the most corrupt government in this state. And why is that? It's because they've left the people behind and put the government to the forefront. And I really hope that it's not so far gone that we can't bring it back and put the government where the people are now and bring the people to the forefront like the government is today. So I really hope and I pray that, the government's not so far gone.
Okay. Kentucky has it's been one of the states where we've been able to start moving to allow great amounts of hemp cultivation, which has allowed people who are tobacco farmers and other agricultural products, and expanding it for all of the Kentucky farmers, their options down here. What are your thoughts on some of the situations where we have some farmers may have to destroy their entire crop if in some testing samples, if certain levels of different chemicals result in it being deemed illegal versus legal by just, a hairline, THC levels versus CBD levels here in Kentucky? I know that's been an issue for some of the farmers in the state. Do you think that we can do anything at the state level to help them out in those areas?
We can. Sure. Yeah, it's, hemp, we have the prime real estate to raise and grow hemp here in Kentucky. And, I was talking to a hemp farmer in my district, and he said really what's sad is they can't sell every part of that plant. They can only sell one part of this plant. They can't sell a flower. They can't, there's just so much of it that could be sold, and the revenue coming to that farmer that he's really losing a lot of money. And it's all I always say, it's all about the people. We've got to do things like that. We've got to legalize the medical cannabis, legalize marijuana, period. And that's where I'm at. People has never overdosed on this stuff. People overdose on everything else. It's proven to help so much stuff with, the PTSD, and all that, and that's not only military personnel that suffers from it, your law enforcement, your firefighters, your paramedics, there's so many people in this state that suffer from just PTSD, and not counting seizures and other things that this is proven to help. We got to be able to make sure that everything is used for what it's good for, and that's what it's good for. So let's get that rocking and let's get it rolling right here in Kentucky. And, like I said, Kentucky's got the prime real estate, the prime ground to raise hemp, and we can raise some of the best in the country. And that could bring so much to our state just in itself. Okay.
You have a lot of experience with transporting goods across the country. You drive a truck for a living. What do you think that we can do to improve the quality of lives for truckers and get more goods transported in and out of Kentucky and help the economy grow? What sort of things can we get the government out of the way on to improve that from your experience here?
Well, it's all about the truck drivers wanting to travel to Kentucky, wanting to deliver to Kentucky. How can we do that? We can go back and we can look at this gas tax that they're wanting to throw out there and pass. You know, the truck drivers on their fuel is getting taxed like crazy. They're getting taxed to death, and you know, to raise it on them, I just don't see how that could even be good. So, you know, we can lower that gas tax, and people be like, yeah, man, I want to go to Kentucky just so I can fuel. So, you know what, I might as well get the loads delivered there. You know, Kentucky last year brought in, just out of the transportation industry, brought in $382 million. And I called Frankfurt. I said, where's this money going? Because I'm a firm believer that if money is there and money comes into your state, you need to use it for what it's intended for. And $382 million to me, coming from one industry to this state, and an industry that I really firmly believe that we need to use that on infrastructure, and you know, to fix our roads, to fix our bridges. And another thing, you know, it's the transportation industry. Let's throw some money back into that, and let's, you know, make our rest areas better for the truck drivers. For crying out loud, we can even put showers in there. In northern Ohio, they put showers at the rest areas for truck drivers to be able to use. And, you know, life on the road is not as easy as a lot of people seem to think, because not only are you not away from your home, but you may not be able to park or be able to find a place to take a shower every day. You know, it's tough. So let's make the life of a truck driver out here, just in the state, a little bit better, so they'll want to bring the goods to Kentucky.
Okay. Well, I know that we both have a lot going on tonight. So what are the things that you need for your campaign? We have people that are all over the country that'll watch this here. What can they do to help your campaign out? James's Facebook page is in the comments below for everyone, in the description. So make sure you go follow James and give him the support he needs over there, and do donate. He has a link for donating in there. But what other things do you think that you need for your campaign to bring it home in the next week and a half?
You know, voices is a lot. Voices go a long way. You know, I want to personally be able to put $1,000 into this campaign going into the last week. I set that goal because with $1,000, we can put a lot of stuff out here going into this last week, before November the 3rd. I really feel that we're doing a good job. We're doing great with the early voting and absentee. I just have that feeling. And, you know, we've got a legit shot to win this race for the Libertarian Party and for the people. And, you know, that's the big thing. And I'm so close to it. You know, like I said, $1,000 going into this last week can just boost this campaign tremendously. On the second, the day before the actual main election day, on November the 2nd, I've got upwards of 20 trucks coming in here. You know, these guys are coming in to campaign for me. These guys are coming in to be a rolling billboard for myself and the campaign. You know, these trucks, they're going to be running my whole district all day long on the 2nd with my signs. Some of them, I believe, got some flags made up of you know, my campaign. They'll be flying flags. You know, these guys, they see the need not only to help them, but they see the need for some help coming to Kentucky. And, you know, so if we can raise that $1,000 between now and Tuesday, you know, that would be great. Let's get everything set up going into this last week to where my opponent says, holy cow, I've never seen anything like this before. You know, let's go ahead and let's get this victory. I think we're going to get a victory in Indiana. We've got a legit shot at getting 2 or 3 victories here in Kentucky. And not only just these 2 states, but across this country. And anything that you can do to help any candidate that you know, please, we're 12 days away, and let's show them that the third party is the way to go. And the Libertarian Party's here to take that reign and to show people that freedom and liberty is here.
All right, James, I appreciate you coming on. Everyone, make sure you're getting involved locally in your state and district parties and county parties. And if there isn't a county party, go out there, get one started, find some more people, and start getting involved. Help build those campaigns locally. Get out there, donate to James. James, once again, thank you very much for joining me tonight. The rest of you guys,